X's and O's.
All right, so let's get after it here. We're going to go to the 303, my friend. Mile High. What is it, 5298?
Dude,
Yes.
did you?
No, he does
He's
some
got the-
research. There's no way he can.
I just gave him that script.
Dude, I'm a little Rain Man when it comes to
I just gave him the
codes.
script. He didn't. I gave him the script before the show, right before we started recording, and I haven't seen him pull out his phone. This is all Rain Man-y.
303.
Fres-
Wapner's on at 3 and Denver's 303.
Isn't that Fresno?
Fresno.
Because we never fact check him.
I think Fresno's like 290, I think. 290 or 209. Maybe 290. Not sure. But
Right, now I'm going to fact check you while you
So
read
hopefully
this
get
guy's
into this.
question.
So Chris M. from Denver, from the Mile High, tells us, gentlemen, I've been smoking cigars for a few years now and usually default to a bourbon or a rum. But lately I've been branching out. Had a cigar with a stout the other night, and surprisingly it works. It got me thinking, is there actually a quote-unquote best category when it comes to pairing with cigars? Wine, liquor, beer, or even coffee? Take coffee and cigars in the morning. Or is it more about the specific cigar and the moment? Would love to hear how you guys approach pairings and if there's a general rule of thumb I should be following or breaking. That's Chris M. from Denver.
By the way, you were spot on the 303, but Fresno, you missed. You missed. You swung and a miss on that.
I keep, a buddy of mine once told me I don't go to cities where the word "nose" in it, like Fresno.
No, okay.
Chicago.
Okay, Chicago, you go, yeah.
Fresno, and I got bronchitis in Fresno. I went to a wedding there.
I got bronchitis.
I went to a Mexican wedding in Fresno. I mean, literally, Grandma was in the back making the mole in a hole in the backyard. It was crazy good. But I got bronchitis. Can you imagine that? Fresno.
Last time I went.
First and last for the old Fresno.
All right, so we got to answer Chris's
So
question.
yeah.
here.
So is there a rule of thumb?
I think we should first talk about, whether his first part of the question is there a best category, right? So I don't think there's a best category. I think there are sort of natural pairings that are easier to do.
Everybody's going to have their own personal best, of course.
Yeah, of course.
We're talking about rule of thumb, yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of, there is no best, but so best is really a personal choice. This is all, by the way, this is just what I think. So, but I think that there are pairings that are easier. They're going to work more often than not. And then there's pairings that are going to be harder to make work. Okay. So while there isn't a best, to answer Chris directly, while there isn't a best, there are easy ones. Like, for example, rum. Rum is such an easy pairing for cigars because unless you don't like rum, right? But if you grab a rum like Leon Jimenez rum,
right,
which we will talk about later, but you grab a rum like Leon Jimenez, you can almost get any cigar to go with it.
Why do you think?
Because of the sweetness that it has.
Because it's a sweet,
it's got
and
sweet
the
and
alcohol's
wood, and the
not
alcohol's
as much as
exactly,
a bourbon.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not a killer on alcohol. So they're usually around 40% alcohol, maybe 40, 43. They're not so high, so they're not going to kill your palate, and they've got a ton of sweetness on them. And so that's always a good time, And you can have that with a mild cigar, and you can have it with a strong cigar, and it's flexible. So that's an easy. That's what I mean by easy. Mm-hmm. And then like a 45% bourbon, again, kind of an easy pairing because they have some sweetness to them. It's when you get to the and coffee. I think coffee's
espresso. I was going to say
coffee is like a natural one también, right?
Right.
They just go together. But so when it comes to wine, that gets harder. You can literally have a wonderful wine and a wonderful cigar, and they don't play together. We've seen it here on the show.
Yeah,
we've done it. We've done it with scotches, where you have a great scotch that you loved. How many times have we had a pairing here where we say on its own, I love this whiskey, but with the cigar, I like this other one. We've done that a bunch of times.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so that happens with beer, with scotch, and with wine. To me, it's those categories are not as flexible as rum and, let's say, bourbon. But once you go to high proof bourbon or rye whiskeys, that gets really hard too, because there's not a cigar on the planet that can stand up to a 56% alcohol. It just doesn't exist, right? That level of alcohol is always going to blow out your palate. It's going to numb it to death. So
Old Chris here had it with a stout, and he said he enjoyed it.
stout is a great beer to have
Perfect.
with. Yeah. So now we're getting into subcategories. So yeah, to answer that.
But you wouldn't
Stout.
you wouldn't necessarily. I mean, I guess again, the beauty of this is all objective, right? I mean, what may work for me may not work
You mean
for you.
subjective?
Well, objectively, subjectively, subjectively. English is not my good-looking language, but like if I have a stout, I don't think I want a big rompepecho, tough, strong cigar.
You may.
But maybe you do. Maybe
I
you're
mean,
just
a very chocolatey coffee kind of stout. Yeah, probably goes really well with a dark, strong cigar.
with like a heavy duty.
Heck yeah.
Man.
What you don't want is probably a pilsner, because now it's like water that you're drinking with the cigar.
Yeah, so you want something that'll kind of like what you look for in a partner.
So-
Something that'll carry and pick you up.
Yeah, so
Like their
that
credit score.
yeah, like a partner with a really
That's why That's why I married a white woman.
yeah.
Credit score. Whatever.
So that's a good point. That gets us to kind of the rule of thumb part, right? So the rule of thumb, if there is one, would be to sort of match intensities. Try at least matching the intensities so that one isn't washing out the other. Unless you really love that
Right.
cigar and you don't care what the other thing is.
right.
So in like regular culinary pairings, you would usually pair a red wine with a steak and maybe like a white wine with like a seafood.
Sure.
Is there anything comparable to that with cigars and spirits?
Yeah, but I mean, there's so many categories we're talking about here that
but
it's-
there isn't one like obvious pairing like that, right? Like a Maduro and an aged Scotch.
No, because every Scotch is different. Every alcohol level is different. All that. So I would say if you wanted one like just automatic sort of home run, it would be an Leon Jimenez rum or another similar rum. And I personally like rums when they have a balanced amount of sweetness. I don't like way over the top sugar bomb rums.
Right.
That's not for me.
That's why I'm in my sort of rye whiskey era right now.
Okay, yeah, you're going like spicy, not a whole lot of sweetness.
Exactly, because I'm not a sweet person in terms of.
You aren't, I know.
I think I am sweet. I love my wife. I love my kids, but in terms of my alcohol, I don't. That's why like my old fashions are always made with rye.
What was the line in Snatch when he asked Brittop if he takes sugar in his coffee? He goes, "No sugar. I'm sweet enough as it is." And the guy's a stone cold killer.
Why are you carrying a gun? Who are you afraid of? The Germans.
The Germans.
The Germans.
We got the Austrian back here.
So, I mean, from empirical evidence, and we're going to have George.
Wait a minute. Empirical evidence.
Hold on.
Hey.
We're going to.
No man's been prepping for an SAT.
get
I think his daughter.
303 in the house.
I think his daughter is taking the SAT like next
No
week or something, and
kidding.
he's
No
helping her
kidding.
prep. No, I'm
Get the
kidding.
pomp and circumstance music on.
kidding.
Let's go.
But we will be asking George to see, because he does have the new lounge, see what they're ordering. But when we go to cigar events, which we go to a lot, I will tell you for a fact, the first thing that every cigar party runs out of first because everybody's drinking is Scotch.
No doubt.
No doubt about it.
At least in this town.
Scotch o'clock.
So I don't know if it's because that's everybody's preference to drink, or is it because, hey, I'm going to a cigar event and these pair perfectly.
And to be fair, many Scotches do.
Of course.
Like there,
Yeah.
many Scotches and single malts and even blended Scotches, many of them are also no-brainer sort of pairings that are very flexible. It's just that some aren't, like, for example, the very peaty ones.
Right.
You know? So when you're talking about an entire category, it's very hard to just pick out an entire category because there's so many differences.
Well, more rye whiskey for daddy. That's all I got to say. Thank you. So enjoy your Scotch, boys and girls. More rye whiskey for me.
Oh, we love rye too, man. I mean, there isn't really a spirit here in this office that Ivan and I will say no to.
I've got to think. I'll say
Right?
yes. I got to think about tequila a little bit.
No, not here. We
I know,
are
you guys-
equal
you guys-
opportunity
You guys have
imbibers.
opened my tequila doors. Although the mezcal,
Love that too.
That's a difference.
You know, I had some on Cinco de Mayo and I didn't love it. So, like, Band-Aidy, peaty, I don't know.
Yeah, but that was a special. That was a weird one.
No, but I had a like a Montelobos.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, Montelo's not my favorite
anywho,
anyway.
I do love some wine, and we'll be having some
Yes,
Italian wine
yes.
on the show.
I know. I saw
So there's a lot of pairing talk, which
Jasper sign for it when it was delivered.
Yeah.
And I saw you kind of looking over his shoulder that we had to pull you away from him.
yeah.
Jasper, put that down.
So so a lot of pairing talk on this, obviously on this show, right? Because the question was a pairing question, and now we're about to do the perfect pairings. But I also want to shout out the people who, recently I've been doing a lot of panels and a lot of different things like that, like speaking kind of engagements, and I get a lot of people telling me I don't believe in any pairing.
No.
Yeah, I've heard this several times where they're like, I don't believe in any pairing. If you like the cigar and you like the thing that you're drinking, just drink them. And I was like, okay, fair. But I can tell you from our experience on the show that there are some that simply don't work.
Right. And also it could take you, a good pairing, it's an adventure. It takes you to, it's an experience.
Well, I mean, to me, and this is why I love the pairing element, is that you take something that you love. Like this cigar, I'm in love with it. I think it's a fantastic cigar. And now I can change it for a minute or two and make it either better or worse, ideally better. But I can change it. And then a couple of puffs later, I'm back to where it was before. And so that's a great little hack that you have. Why not use it?
I'm all about the journey, not the destination. That's the idea. The destination, we know we're going to have a great cigar, we're going to have some great drinks, great conversation, but it's the journey. That's what I like to do.
Absolutely. And if the waitress is cuter, even better.
Epa.
Échale sazón. Eso es un honro.
It's Ricky Ricardo from the Bronx in New York. Hey, shout out to Ricky Ricardo, Yankees Spanish play-by-play guy.
I love that line. Échale sazón.
You guys could be like distant cousins.
Yeah.
We have a little familiarity there.
Yeah. Old Ricky.
Yeah, and by the way, R.I.P.
Spanish voice of the Yankees.
R.I.P. to John Sterling, who passed
Yep.
away.
Yep.
The quintessential hometown announcer. And again, it's not a knock, but anything like that. So yeah. So Chris, I hope we got you some information.
I hope we helped you, buddy.
Yeah, you know what? And because you raised this topic, we always
gonna
invite
send you
you
a
guys
sticker.
Yeah, to hit us up at feedback@cigarsnobmag.com. And what does he get?
He gets a Cigar Snob swag pack. So it'll be either a hat and a shirt and a sticker or a lighter maybe. We'll do a little combination of things. Depends on old Chris's shirt size, whether or not we have those in stock.
And guys, feel free, guys and girls, feel free to show us what you're smoking, what you're eating, what you're doing, and where you're enjoying your smoky treats across this great globe of ours, because this is a global
Tag
enterprise.
Cigar Snob Mag, and we'll be happy to reshare that, man.
And just to close this out,
Feet at Cigar Snob, man.
No, dude, what's wrong with you?
You got a lot of feedback.
This guy came in a little sideways today.
well,
Not to reference wine here, but he came in a little sideways.
I think he might have had a couple of check the invoice, how many bottles we got, because I think there might be, it's the old, hey, the law enforcement found 10 kilos off. It was really 15, but we found 10. Hey, what are you gonna
Jimmy's been like this.
I've been like, well, my man. like I remember, it's a half, not a full. Half. But and by the way, I did just to put a button on everything. Fresno's area code was 209.
You checked?
Wow.
It became 559, and now it's 357.
I knew it was with a 3. Thanks,
saying.
Jasper, for fact checking.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Jasper handed me a note, and he said, "Here you go.
Wow.
Here you go, jackass." So it was 209, then it became 559, and it's 357.
Okay, I'll give you credit for that.
I'm just saying.
Well done, Jimmy.
I'm
The
just
Rain
saying.
Man strikes again.
I'm just saying.
Area code Rain Man.
That's it.
We're gonna get you a
Do
T-shirt.
most Californians, and I consider you
Yeah.
do they know all the area codes?
Well, let me tell you, there is.
They know the highways.
There is,
Yeah. I feel it's the Californians from SNL.
There is a snobbery about area codes in in Southern California. I can't speak about the rest of California, but I remember when 310 became a thing. 310 is like the must area code. And they broke 310 into 424, and people were literally losing their minds because they were going to lose their 310.
Well, they weren't literally losing their mind.
Oh no, they were.
Right.
There was riots. Watts riots, Rodney King, 424.
That's it, yeah.
It was right up there. So, So yeah, so listen. So thank you, Chris. I hope you enjoy your swag pack and keep them coming, guys. Remember, feedback at cigarsnobmag.com.
Thanks for watching Cigar Snob on YouTube. If you enjoyed that, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to check out more of our content, go to the channel and you'll see mail time videos, podcasts, interviews with cigar insiders, and photo shoots with smoking hot models. And if you want even more Cigar Snob in your life, we will print a magazine and ship it straight to your house. It's a crazy idea, I know, but we're trying this out. Cigarsnob.com to do that. And otherwise, we'll see you later.